Hello, I'm here today to do a comparison of 5 different models of flamenco blanca guitar built by Darren Hippner. I've been playing Hippner guitars for almost 20 years. Got my first one in 2003, and ever since then I probably averaged 1 or 2 per year. I've had over 30 guitars built by Darren. His guitars sound vastly different from one another because he does a lot of different models where he, based on the famous builders of the past. That's true of his classicals and as well as his flamencos. So today I have 5 different models of flamenco blanca that he built at different times that I want to demonstrate and just play a brief type of piece of music. My recording system is not the greatest, but doing it this way, at least you get to hear these differences on the same playing field, I think. I tend to construe the sound of flamenco guitars sort of on this continuum between woody on the one end and more metallic on the other end, where you might say dry versus wet sometimes, or piano versus organ. And there's this whole continuum and things in between. A lot of people, I think, are sort of looking for a middle ground where you get the best of both worlds. So when I play these 5, I'm going to sort of characterize them that way. We'll start with one that's kind of on the far end of the spectrum to the dry, woody, kind of vintage. This sounds like an old school flamenco blanca to my ear. This is Darren's Barbaro model. Put new strings, new bass strings on all of these so that it'll be a fair comparison. So we may have to do some tuning. This one has traditional tuning pegs. So this is number 774. It comes from 2013. Belongs to one of my students, Gavin, who loaned it to me for this. Kind of wish I still owned this one. Very nice sounding guitar. This next one, likewise, I had to borrow back from a student that I sold it to many, many years ago. And this actually happens to be the very first guitar I bought from Hippner, from Darren. This is his Santos model, Santos Hernandez model from 2003. This is number 360. Like I say, the very first guitar that got me hooked on Hippner guitars. Another one I wish I still owned. This one I think is more on the other end of the spectrum. It's towards the middle. None of them are at the extremes, at least at this end, the more metallic, bright metallic, kind of brash end of the spectrum. This is a very loud and powerful guitar with really strong highs, and more metallic than that other one. Santos model. So I'm going to just kind of go back and forth to either end as we get closer to the center. In my opinion, this one is his newest model of flamenco blanca, the Hernandez Iguado model. This one to me is also dry and clean and more woody, a very woody guitar. It also has just this really kind of unusual sweetness and buttery kind of quality to my similar to the Barbaro, but a little less edgy, a little more smooth, rounded notes. Very sweet and buttery to me are the best words for this model. Not as loud as the Santos model, certainly not as brash or macho. I would call this very feminine. It's another kind of continuum, feminine to masculine. The Santos model, very masculine and macho. This is very feminine to my ear. Okay, the other two are more in the middle. This is the Reyes model. This is also a pretty new guitar. It's number 1035. Oh, I didn't say the last one. I think that was 1050. So Darren is very prolific. He's made now well over 1,000 guitars. This one falls in the middle to my ear. It has some of that bright kind of metallicness, but it also has a lot of complexity. I think Reyes guitars, I've owned a few actual Manuel Reyes guitars, and they're like that. That's I think why they're so coveted is because they, in a way, have both qualities. A bit of woodiness, a bit of metallicness, plenty of complexity, lots of subtle overtones and such. So the Reyes model with a cedar top. Kind of a chewy sound. New strings. Okay, last one. Also, it's sort of in the middle, a little closer to the dry, woody side of the spectrum. I believe the Reyes is a little closer to the Santos. This next one is a little closer to the Barbaro. This is Darren's Esteso model. This one's number 721 from 2012. Also a very narrow body, much like the Barbaro. This one has a multi-piece back. So sort of a very kind of balanced middle of the spectrum sound. So, do I have a favorite? It depends on the day, depends on my mood. I love all of these. I think all of them are great guitars that have great qualities. So it all depends on what you prefer, the woody versus the metallic and so on. And for me, it can be a matter of mood from day to day. So I highly recommend Darren Hippner flamenco guitars.